Hello and welcome back. As promised, today is going to be MPG Part 3. I said it would come out in August. It is August 27th today. And just to recap, Part 1 of the MPG series of 5, I mentioned that it was getting, back when I bought the truck, it was getting 8.5 miles per gallon, and I hoped that it would get better. It did. Um, Then part 2, I talked about things that affect MPG, and I brought up one point in that video that I mentioned a clean truck, or a clean vehicle, if you will, um, helps you with your MPG. So I got to thinking, I'm going to do an experiment. Does it even matter? If it does, how much MPG are you going to gain, if any? So I'm going to do that experiment, and that's going to come up in part 4. I'm going to go with a dirty truck. I haven't washed this truck in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, because I want to go out with a dirty truck on a highway and run it. I'm going to note the temperature and the wind speed, and then I'm going to clean it. I've got a clay bar kit. I'm going to put the clay bar to it. I'm going to put the wax to it, and then I'm going to go out with similar conditions, similar temperature if not the same, and similar wind speed if not the same, and I'm going to compare the two. So subscribe so you don't miss the results of that. And today is going to be part 3. So let's get going. So here in part 3, I got the city. Well, I've had the truck. September 5th will be, or September 12th will be 8 months I've had the truck. I've got the highway one that I was doing. That got messed up because the highway was closed on my way back up from seeing the family. Family's 8 hours away round trip. So, well, 8 to 9 hours. It's 4 to 4.5 hours each way. So the highway was closed on my way up. So for a 4.5 hour drive home, it took me 12 hours to get home. So that really messed that up. I got the city MPG I have. So I'm going to redo it. I got to redo the highway one. Although looking at the comments in the sections from part 1 and 2, as well as seeing what people are getting, I'm also on Instagram at BR Outdoors, ending with an S. The outdoors is ending with an S. Seeing what they're getting MPG wise, I'm seeing 16 to 18. I've even seen 19. I don't know the truth in that, but I've seen 19. I'm going to be redoing that because the truck did well from home down and up to the closure. The truck did well on the highway. So I'm really looking forward to redoing that. I'm going to have that information in part 4 for the highway. But I think I'm going to be right on target with the 2017 models that are doing 18 MPG on highway and 16 to 18. I think I'm going to be comparable to that. I don't see why I wouldn't. It's the same truck. Really, the only difference is cosmetic. So I think I'm going to be on target with that. As per city, well, on the way back after the highway was closed, I finally got going. I gassed up the truck in some little town, Blenheim. Not that that is relevant to anybody really, unless you know where Blenheim is. Anyway, and then I got back. It's 167 miles, 267 kilometers, and it only took the truck like a quarter a tank to do it. I have a video of the cluster I took. It did 14.2 liters per 100 kilometers from pretty much that point on. So um, I've got the video for that. So that was about 14.2 liters per 100 kilometers, is roughly 16 to 17 MPG. So that's why I'm kind of excited to get to know what this truck is actually doing. So I'm going to do that in part 4, and as well as the experiment. So subscribe again, you don't miss that. And the conclusion to part 3. City, this truck city so far is getting, I wonder why I'm sitting in the truck talking to myself. City, this truck is getting 13.5. In part 1 I mentioned I was getting 8.5, so it's gotten better. It's turning out that this truck is better on city than it is in the highway, but for 13.5 city, owning a Power Wagon, man, I said I was good with 10 miles per gallon. 13.5, yeah, we're cool. We're cool. Got nothing wrong with that. So that'd be part 3. There was no turkey hunt that I mentioned in part 1 as well. You'll see the video that I did with putting the lights in the rear bumper. I didn't have time to go. It was that weekend was the last weekend. I mean, Monday was technically the last day, but I had to work. So that turkey hunt didn't happen. So that's not included in part 3. Otherwise, I'd probably have the mileage for the highway on that. So that didn't happen. But the moose hunt's coming up. That's going to have with the trailer. And that's going to be a really interesting one because this highway trip for moose hunting, I got a tag for a bull moose. So there's 3 of us in the group. That's a 27-hour drive away from here, and that's going to be the highway part of that is mainly from here basically up to Sudbury in the 4-lane highway. So for that 4-hour trip with the trailer, I'm gonna gas up in Sudbury just to get the highway MPG with the trailer, because it's, you know, there's some hills and what have you there. So I'm gonna have that, and then I'm gonna continue on. The rest of that trip is on basically a 2-lane highway, and you got to go through the little towns all the way across. There are some parts of that highway that open up the 4-lane, not a lot. Still a lot of hills, wind, it's cooler temp. There's one big hill. So I'm going to have that also set up, and that's going to be all in part 4 with the experiment, as well as I believe the deer hunt's going to be in part 4, which is only a 4.5-hour drive, flat ground, no trailer. I don't think I'm taking the trailer anyway, or the 4-wheeler. I would like to. Anyway, so that's the conclusion to part 3. Subscribe for part 4. Part 5 is going to be basically the conclusion to all of the parts wrapped up in one, so that might be a little longer. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in part 4 or in the next video. Gas receipts here for a month. There's highway and city in here. $358 in gas. That's my little highway excursions that I was doing on my little trips that I went on with the ATV and everything, and plus the first part of the trip that I was going to do the highway MPG on. That's $358 worth, so that's not bad considering the distance I traveled. And then we got fuel receipts here for August, and heck, August is only well, it's under 300, just under $300. So yeah, this truck is really starting to impress me for the gas. So anyway, thanks again for watching.